Hey everyone, welcome to Redmen TV. We have got a fantastic debate for you this week. What should Liverpool have done last summer? The January transfer window is open. There's plenty of debate for what could still be done in January. I thought it was a very, very interesting topic to go back to the summer now with half a season under our belts and revisit some of the names, look at the moves that did happen and say, were there any of those deals that Liverpool could have, should have, or would have hijacked, and how would that have improved the Reds' chances this season? I was joined in the studio with a phenomenal panel of guests, Jay Pearson and Ross Chanley, and here is that debate. You can go back to last summer and hijack one piece of Premier League transfer business. What do you do? What do you do?
Don't get on the bus because it's going 50 miles an hour.
Yeah. The general gist of this, of course, is that we've had a few conversations around January transfer window and what Liverpool are lacking in terms of like squad depth and blah blah blah, and it got me thinking, like, because you could do this whole who should Liverpool sign now or who should Liverpool have signed, and I think it's a bit broad. You just go, oh, we should have signed ... and it's just not a realistic transfer. So something that we definitely know happened. Okay. So you know that it was at least a more likely possibility, and I'm also interested just to gauge where we fall down on that, because I feel like we'd have done so if we'd asked this question on September the 1st. I think we'll get different answers now to what we would have got back in the day. But Ross, going back to last summer.
Well, I've got two, and I think that maybe someone else that I've missed out on this list. Gini Wijnaldum was my first one, which is kind of a jokey one, but kind of semi-serious. Of going like, I literally would have given him another contract because you know his availability, the way that he played. Not harking back to now, going, things that were missing, when things aren't going right, everyone goes, we should have done X, Y, Z. In the summer, I actually wanted to give him another contract because I thought he was worthy of it. My other one that I picked is Buendia. Because I actually quite like him as a footballer, but I think in terms of his output and his numbers that he was putting out last season, I've got him up here. He got 15 goals and 17 assists, which is kind of hard to read because that was for Norwich in the championship, so you can get that's a bit wank. But I think he was the only person that outshone Harvey Elliott in terms of goal contributions last season. We've been reading about Harvey Elliott, so I think right to do that. Multiple positions, his work rate that he puts out. I think I've seen him in Aston Villa. Whether that's since Steven Gerrard has come in, I don't know. But I just think in terms of what Liverpool lack sometimes, I think when people talk about squad depth, I think they get it mixed up with squad quality, and I think he would be above the pecking order in some of the players that we've got in our squad now.
You think just to clarify this, because I'm going to go hard on this, by the way.
Yeah.
What's his output been like this season?
But that's not what the question was.
No, but I'm saying you're signing him from the summer, based on how he performed. And exactly, but it's January, and you're going back in time with the knowledge of Emi Buendia. How's he performed in the Premier League this season, having made that transfer to Aston Villa?
Didn't look at that. I looked at last season.
Is the answer to the question.
Yeah, right.
And this is the thing, because if we're going back in times of the summer, there's probably a bunch we would have picked. I don't think it's a bad shout. By the way,
that's what the question was.
Yeah. But you're going back you're going back in time from now till then. You know, you've got this season stats to look at. So you know, if you're usurping a transfer deal, do you want to usurp a £38 million transfer deal for a player who's got 1 goal and 3 assists?
But the same could be said of, I would have wanted Jadon Sancho in the summer, and he's been gashing my United. Absolutely. But Liverpool 100%. Would have got a lot better out of Sancho than Aston Villa.
Oh no, exactly. Yeah. But this is why we're having.
Our manager's not been sacked.
Don't take it as a personal insult.
No fucking will, Paul. You're wrong.
But this is why I think. No, but this is why I think this is interesting.
Can you pick me up?
Emi Buendia, 20 appearances for Aston Villa so far this season, 1 goal. Is that better? You know, and when we look at what Liverpool have got, have we improved upon what Liverpool have got with an Emi Buendia? Maybe we've got another player.
Yeah. Yes, we have, Paul.
Yeah. Would you have played him more than Takumi Minamino, for example? Who's played much less but has got a much greater output?
I'm not going to win this argument.
No. God, I'm sorry. I don't mean to throw you.
The debate show, like the argument. You put your.
But my point was, I thought we were going back to the summer and going, who would you have had? Yeah. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, Paul. We go back at those numbers. We obviously wouldn't have signed anyone because we're fine. But
I've got to.
So is the answer no one?
No, the answer's not no one. I've got the answer.
I've got the answer.
Go on, Jay. What would you have done?
I don't really want to play this game now.
What are you going to do? That's why I put, what are you doing? Capitals at the end. We're not playing here. This is the debate show. This is not the...
Can I change it?
No. In a nice, friendly way, present your answer. And we go, oh, isn't that lovely? Well done.
Tommy Abraham.
It's the unchecked opinion show. It's called the debate show.
Yeah, that's the reason I picked him, for content.
My turn now. So, I would have said Jadon Sancho. Mm-hmm. Just because I think we could have got...
What's he done this season, Jadon? Fuck all.
We could have got a lot more out of him, Ross.
You're going back to the summer?
Yeah.
Look at last season.
Forget about what he's done. Nothing. I'd have hijacked it. We'd have done a lot better with him. But the correct answer is Danny Ings.
Ooh.
That's who I would have gone for.
Interesting.
Fantastic season at Southampton.
What's his injury record like, Jay?
His injury record is very, very poor in a red shirt, Ross.
Is it? What about Arsenal? He's not been injured.
He's been
He's not been injured this season then.
We're going back to September. Will you listen to the question? We're going back to September 1st. Forget about any injuries he's had. What would you have hijacked in the summer? We might have done some things differently with him. We might have wrapped him in cotton wool this time. Yeah, but you still went off on what he'd done this season.
Danny Ings.
I didn't know I was talking about last season for Norwich.
16 appearances, 4 goals, 2 assists for Aston Villa so far this season.
Is that less than Lukaku and Minamino, is it? In less minutes.
Why are you having
more, less goals, less goals in more minutes.
I didn't say yours was bad.
Absolutely.
I didn't say yours was bad. I supported you. Stressed.
No, but again...
But yeah, I go with Danny Ings, just basically because, obviously, the season he had at Southampton was really good. We were crying out for that type of player in our front forward line, and I think right now that would be coming in...
Go on. No, my argument for
it's the Ross show.
No, for Danny Ings.
The Ross just says things with no confrontation whatsoever.
Whatever.
We should have a talking stick that we pass around and you're only allowed to talk when you've got it in your hand.
Yes, that. But my argument is...
I've got a talking pillow.
As soon as he left, he got more games. He got a run of games, which he needs to get those numbers that he was doing, which he wasn't getting them for, which is part of the reason why he left. So I agree with you, but also...
He's also going to be 30 this summer, so he's another one where, with Danny Ings, where you're buying another injury-prone lad in the tail end of his career, as opposed to someone right in the prime.
I like against people over 30, Paul.
Oh yeah. I'm incredibly biased against my own.
All of us.
Yeah, definitely. They're interesting shouts, but I think that's just the point. I'm happy to hear the pros, but we can't present the pros without presenting the cons. Okay. I'm going to present mine, and you feel free to.
Fucking will.
Fucking get it now.
Because. I think because again, this is why it's interesting, because look at the players and no one's actually gone for a lot of the obvious ones, because Jadon Sancho should be the answer, because he was absolutely killing it in the Bundesliga, primed to make another a step up a level. He actually took technically a step down a level by going to United. No one really realised it at the time. But in terms of his actual output this season, we've been making jokes about his goal scoring output and all that kind of stuff. What was the joke this weekend for us? Who's got more goals?
Fabinho's got more.
Fabinho's got more than Jadon Sancho.
But the other thing with that as well is the price. What he's spunking £80-90 million on one player that you hardly plays. What does that do for the rest of you you're and a team that you need as well?
Jadon Sancho, 23 appearances for United this season, 2 goals, and this is the point about all this stuff. You never know on transfers, but it's funny because I think, as you say, if you'd asked us on the 1st of September, I think there's a few of us that would have gone Lukaku. And there's a few of us who would have got, maybe not us, but I mean broadly, and obviously the people watching at home as well, would have said the likes of Lukaku, and definitely every one of us would have had Sancho. Even at that price, we'd have gone, well, £74 million. Yeah. He's a boss player, he's definitely worth that kind of money, and this is not all his fault, but it's interesting that, you suppose he would have solved all our issues. It's not there. The one I've gone for is Damari Gray.
Oh, come on, let's get out of here.
£1.6 million. And again, he's been playing for Everton. He's had his performance so far this season, played 21 appearances for Everton, 6 goals and 2 assists.
And a shit side.
In a shit side. And again, for absolute buttons as well. He's played predominantly on the left. He's played a bit to attack and mid, a little bit on the right-hand side. He's played actually done the false 9 a little bit for them when they've been bereft of options. But someone like him for me, because I think... What Liverpool realistically need or needed is to go and get another Diogo Jota, or to go and get another lad who's definitely, who within a year can be as good as, if not better than, what our first team lads is, which is a very difficult thing to do, by the way, which is why Lukaku, Sancho, Ronaldo, Harry Kane, all these names all made sense in your, I've got me footy manager team, I've got me FIFA team, and I want to upgrade the star rating on it, that kind of thing. That they're the kind of players that you go for. But in terms of like just adding an extra body to do it, I'd love a Damari Gray today for like for Thursday against Arsenal, and for Sunday against Palace, and for you know what I mean.
Imagine where Everton would be without him then, if you did your business and you took him off the rounds.
Imagine. Nowhere, dead.
That's the reason alone, yeah.
Well dead, dead.
Right, isn't it? Do you know what? I completely forgot, because I don't even look at Everton. So I don't even look.
Yeah. But isn't it interesting? I think it was 1.6 million they paid for him.
1.6,
yeah. And it was interesting just having a flick through of all the players that were there. Buendia is an interesting one. I agree on that one. 25 years old. Had a good season in the Premier League, has a brilliant season in the Championship. He's due for a move, and I think they'll get better out of him as well. That'll go on to prove to be a decent buy, and he fits into our bracket of what we're looking for between 23 and 26. If you're going to bring someone in who's 6 months to a year max away from being at the level where you can do it in every sort of game for Liverpool. So that is an interesting one. But what's telling as well, though, is we all went for lads who play in the front three.
Yeah.
Which is, again, and that's why I thought it was vital to make the point about how many goals and assists they've actually returned, because effectively there's only so many minutes to float around, and we'd be replacing, effectively, you're looking at them to upgrade on one of Divock or Minamino, and comparatively speaking, both of those lads have done.
But is there an argument to say that if you've got someone of a better quality of Origi or Taki, that they play more minutes? Maybe. Because you can rotate, the pressure's not on the front three or front four, as it were.
Yeah. But then the counter argument is, are they better if they're not even getting, they're not performing in the minute when they are being given minutes?
Or putting on a better side. You've got that debate going on, haven't you?
Yeah, no, it's an interesting one, because we have a lot of revisionism that goes on, I think, when it comes to transfers and all that. And it also goes to show is that I think we all feel there needs to be more, we definitely feel there needs to be more quality in the attacking positions.
Aguero would have been a shout as well.
Would have been, but again, the beauty is you got the knowledge now where he's retired in January, so we'd have all had Aguero, and we'd have all had taken a punt on Aguero on a free transfer. I mean, even Romelu Lukaku, 8 goals in 23 appearances this season for 90 million quid.
And an outburst as well, which would have upset the apple cart.
Yeah. And imagine he just decided he didn't like the tactics that we were playing.
Yeah.
And decided to talk to Sky and start,
before a big game against Chelsea.
Honestly, absolutely.
I can't believe Leeds paid £25 million for Dan James.
I know.
That's robbery.
Quite hilarious, really, when you consider it. But yeah, just out of interest in terms of output, I mean, Divock Origi has played 393 minutes of football for us this season. He's got 5 goals and 2 assists, 10 appearances. It's obscene. Yeah. It's obscene how good that is. I mean, and again, you want more. There's a chance that if he'd just been fit, he might have played 2 or 3 more games there and not scored. And those stats do look a little worse, and that's to your point, isn't it, about the quality and the quantity thing. And that's why I just think it's a very fine balance between what's classed as what is just quantity and what is
especially
what
now when we need him with the AFCON. Part of the reason, probably one of the reasons why we kept hold of him was, well, not because he didn't want to go, but also we knew those lads were going.
And moreover, why we weren't throwing him out the door the way that we did with like Shaqiri. So like we took a cut price offer for Shaqiri ultimately, when in a year ago you might have got, you're probably getting £15 million for Shaqiri in a strong market
pre-pandemic.
Without a doubt. And just out of interest for Takumi Minamino, and this is where he's the one for me, like in terms of vulnerability, because Divock is this incredibly laid-back character who's not arsed, and yet he works hard. He comes in, he scores goals in high-pressure situations. He's 6'2", 6'3", or whatever. He can head the ball, he can hold the ball up, he can play across the front three to differing levels, but he can do. He's obviously fully integrated in the squad, blah, blah, blah. And I say he's not banging down the door looking for a move. But you've also got Takumi Minamino there, who is kind of all of those things, but doesn't get the same level of goals. I mean, he's got more goals this season than Origi, which is quite funny to say that. But
and he should have one more.
Yeah, but he's played twice as many minutes, but has got one more goal and one less assist, 16 appearances for Taki. But yeah, I just thought it's an interesting thing. I'll get into the Club Legend chat to see what people have gone for. Steve O'Hare says Gini to PSG. Jith says ignoring the squad management stuff on our end, I'd have brought in Sancho. Oddbod 2512 says Edouard and Gallagher, both from Palace, would have fit our team lovely. Or maybe that Genie fella that went to PSG would have been a shout. Yeah, I mean Gallagher's only on loan, isn't he, from Chelsea? Because he was a consideration, to be honest. But he looks like a very, very tidy player indeed. In fact, Jit with a chat here saying he was on a high and would have continued so well under Klopp. Not sure on the Genie stuff. I still think that was the right call. We'd just be complaining that we need to refresh the squad better if Genie stayed. Genie Wijnaldum's one of those things. I think if we're on the horizon of having a bunch of players back and fit and available, and the Genie Wijnaldum shout will just fade out to the point where we don't talk about it anymore, because you kind of have them.
Like Coutinho.
Yeah. But in a different, he's just nowhere near as loved as Phil Coutinho. It's weird. He's like some people's first, isn't it? You always have that one, your first crush that will never leave you, no matter what. I think that Phil Coutinho was that for a bunch of people, whereas a lot of people just really liked Genie because he was lovely and he had his moments. But yeah, interesting stuff. Scott T says Sancho, United, or Dennis, Watford. Dennis would fit well into our squad. That is quite an interesting shout.
But he would have gone to AFCON though.
Yeah, and we'd be sat here having exactly the same. Or we'd have dug our heels in and said he can't go, and then we wouldn't have played him anyway. Cristiano Ronaldo, I wouldn't have had him near the first team, but stick him in the 23s for shits and giggles.
Absolutely.
And just says, actually, hey, I'm not changing Man United's plight for anything. Yeah, brilliant. Really interesting shout. But actually following up this on the Lukaku and Ronaldo not worth the ego. Also says Daka's not a bad shout. I'm surprised actually no one mentioned the Daka stuff, but I think it's because he's gone a little under the radar since moving. No one's really talked. In fact, I'm going to get
there was a big thing about him, wasn't he, when he moved, and it was like, we've missed out on him.
Well, he was the obvious one, wasn't he? You know, like that he fits what Liverpool do. He's not going to cost you ridiculous money. There'll be a reasonable buyout clause. He's got a good goal return. He's within the Red Bull system, so you know you've got all that kind of thing going for you. But he's 23. He's only just 23 as well. He's got 7 goals and 4 assists in 17. So under 900 minutes played. So he might actually, Patton Daka might actually have been the answer, albeit he's another centre forward. And we go on about this. Liverpool need a striker. Liverpool have got nothing but lads who play centre forward, who want to play centre forward. I remember going to a goalkeeper course once, like a footy school for goalkeepers, and then at the end of the day we had a game of 5-a-side. Can you imagine how much carnage that was?
Just long balls.
Nobody wants to go and go. You've got 20 lads there, effectively, who all want to go and goal. And there's 2 positions there's 2 of those slots available.
Quite the opposite of 5-a-side on a Thursday.
Everyone doesn't want to go and goal. It's like you've got the worst quality game of football you've ever seen. Where like that, everyone wants to play centre forward for Liverpool.
But that'll come back to the argument for him of, I think Leicester have been pretty underwhelming so far this season. You think of the talent that they've got in their side of Maddison, Tielemans, Vardy, the attacking threats. Daki, you think he's getting the supply for him to score goals when Leicester should be doing better, but obviously not.
A lot of them will probably get picked off in the summer as well.
Yeah, I reckon so.
Yeah, it's interesting. Again, it was an interesting thing because I think transfers inspire a lot of rage in people, and I'm sure, by the way, there'll be people watching who haven't been able to comment live who will have more and better answers than all of this. And of course, there's so many moving parts, so you'll never know the true reality because, as I've said before, Timo Werner might actually have been a much. We love Diogo Jota. We clearly wanted Timo Werner as our first choice. But we look at it now and go, Timo Werner's been shite. We dodged the bullet there. But I'd expect Timo Werner to have been an absolute goal machine by now for us if we'd signed him. And the same goes with Sancho, and the same goes with a whole bunch of these players. You'll just never know. It's like the continual let Jurgen Klopp work with Paul Pogba thing. Because if anyone can get a tune out of Paul Pogba, it's going to be
His agent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Celebrity first, footballer second.
Yeah, there you go. That's one.
Yeah, but also, as I say, there's a point at which the grass is always, we always feel like the grass is greener, and I've been making this point all along. We've now got three or realistically four really good, if not world class, as close to world class across the board options as you can have, and our understudies are performing at levels we've never had understudies perform previously. Yeah. The year we won the Champions League, Taki Minamino's place in the squad was Ryan Brewster. Yeah. And he was on the bench twice that season. That was the closest he got to the first team. So not only have we got a lad who can be used in the first team, he's actually performing in the first team as well. This is not the days of Nathan Eccleston coming on for the last 10 minutes of games just because we needed a lad to come on the pitch. There you go. That is just one question from our 3-question debate show this week, and we have that debate show every single week on Redmen Plus. The other 2 topics that we covered are: what is the best Liverpool goalkeeper kit of all time, and have Liverpool outgrown FSG as owners? Head over to the redmentv.com, sign up for Redmen Plus at any tier and gain access to that and a whole host of extra Redmen shows each and every week in video and in podcast form, as well as a whole host of documentaries, features and interviews, and get deeper, closer and feel more for Liverpool culture no matter where you are in the world. It's Redmen Plus. Hey, if you want to get your name here and be a club legend like so many have so far, join up to Redmen Plus. You get an incredible range of Liverpool content, our Netflix for Liverpool fans style services there for you, documentaries, features and interviews, and yes, we also have the club legend here. So if you want to go a bit deeper, get a deeper connection with us and with Liverpool Football Club as well, then sign up to the redmentv.com, Redmen Plus at a club legend tier, and there's loads of extra bonus perks for you as well. Check it out.